Good morning, watch nerds. I believe this may be the only review of this watch that isn't based on a prototype. I've watched all of them, and this is quite different. Batavi are an Amsterdam-based company, but their watches are produced in Belgium, Hong Kong and the Netherlands. I'm guessing they're put together in the Netherlands, but I don't really know. I tend to think that if this had a Swiss logo on it, it may cost another £200 or £300. That said, at full price, this still isn't cheap. Now the full price being €749, although at the point of making this video, they're on offer at €719. Converted to sterling, with any duty added, you're talking about £738. This of course will be changed depending on what country you reside. But beware, microbrands rarely make good financial investments. But I bought this good used one for less than half of that. I have to tell you here and now, as nice as this watch looks in the pictures, in hand it's absolutely striking. Now this model is the Kosmopoliet, or Cosmopolitan in English, and this is the Medina colour option. The watch comes in several colourways, so if you're interested, I suggest you have a look on their website. I've left a link below. To help fund this, I sold my San Martin SN015 GMT, which is a homage to an extremely famous watch. Now I don't have an issue with homages, but the one it is taking inspiration from is so iconic, as well as still being in manufacture, it just didn't sit comfortably with me. Nonetheless, it was technically a very good watch. Anyway, enough of this waffling, and on with the review. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Batavi Kosmopoliet. I must say this is extremely impressive. It's a solid wood box, nicely padded. It's one of the best boxes I've seen, and I include Rolex on that. Inside there would have been a swing tag and the original 2-year warranty if this was new. And this is my watch of the day. It's the Seagull 1963. It's the 38mm version with a sapphire crystal. Let's have a look at the dimensions. Well, it's got a 39mm case, a 20mm lug width, a pleasing depth of 12.5mm, which includes a double dome sapphire with some AR coating. However, that AR coating needs a little bit more because I'm struggling with this video. The lug to lug is 48mm, although I must say it could be a little bit shorter. Now with all the links attached, it weighs about 148 grams, and in my opinion, the watch wears the size. So what engine does this have in it? Well, it's listed as either being the Soprod C125 or the ETA 2893. Now the Soprod is based on the ETA, but it does have an extra few joules. I studied pictures of both and I've decided this is a Soprod. It ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour, it hacks and it hand winds, and it's got a claim power reserve of 50 hours. Now this is what's known as the Traveller's GMT, because when you adjust it, it's the GMT hand that moves, rather than the hour hand. When I first got the watch, it was running a bit fast, 15-20 seconds a day. I've since regulated it. It's now running in real life about +5 seconds a day, which is fine. The amplitude is excellent and the beat error is perfect. Being a dive style GMT with a water resistance rating of 200 metres, the crown screws down. It's about 6.5mm, it's signed, nicely knurled, and the engagement is buttery smooth. Unscrew the crown and in the first position it can be hand wound, in the second position the GMT hand can be adjusted, then the third position is for time adjustment. The adjustment of all hands has a silky feel, as does the hand winding. This sandwich dial is quite unique. You know I'm not the greatest fan of sandwich dials. As you can see, this colour option is the black sunburst style with the yellowed indices, but in strong sunlight it actually appears to be dark brown. Under the 12 it reads Batavi, with Amsterdam printed below that. Above the 6 in gold italics it reads Kosmopoliet, with the GMT in capitals below. The hour and minute hand are of the sword variety, whilst the second hand is a lollipop. I like the fact the GMT hand is in red, and thus easily identifiable. Regards the loom, yet another issue Batavi appear to have rectified. The reviews I've watched on the prototype all signify the loom was weak, when in actual fact the loom on this is actually quite respectable. Okay, it isn't the best I've seen, but after 6 hours I still found it quite legible. So let's have a look at that loom. The case is different to the prototype in the fact the sides are satin brushed. Well done Batavi, you listened to the reviews and this was a wise choice. Batavi also removed the drilled lugs which were on the prototype, and this was done due to the lugs not really being deep enough to accommodate the holes correctly. The tops of the lugs are polished whilst the chamfers are brushed. Whilst I feel the lug to lug could be a little bit shorter, it still fits very well on the back of my 17cm wrist. Flip the watch over and you can see the screw down sapphire case back. Engraved around the edges is some basic information. Now from a personal perspective I prefer solid case backs on dive watches, but because this one is so dressy I'm prepared to forgive it. The bezel, wow the bezel, without doubt this is the watch's highlight, although if you're a bit more conservative than me you may not like it, but I love it. As you can see on this particular colourway, the top part is dusty blue whilst the bottom is a sort of a lilac. The sapphire insert is loomed and the numerals are in Arabic. This may not be practical in any way, but what the heck, it looks unusual and it's very eye-catching. Another difference from the prototype is the 120 click unidirectional bezel generally used in dive watches compared to the original one which had 60 clicks and it was bidirectional. It's very easy to grip, has a little back play but no bounce, and the resistance is just about right. Fortunately, all appears to line up as well. Now let's have a listen. Finally, the bracelet and clasp. Like the rest of the watch, the bracelet is very well made and very attractive. It tapers down from 20mm to 18mm, then back up to 20mm for the clasp. Now the centre links are satin brushed while the outer links are polished. I don't normally like polishing on bracelets, but somehow it works on this watch. The solid end links fit perfectly to the case, although there are no quick release spring bars. Adjustment is made via a pin and collar system. Some people don't like this and find it fiddly. I have no issue with it at all and find the system very secure. Other than having an on the fly adjustment, the clasp on this is just about perfect for the watch. Now it's fully milled. It's got a nice slim profile, it's got 3 micro adjusts and double pushers. It's satin brushed and polished to match the bracelet and it's signed. I would seriously give the bracelet and the clasp a 9 out of 10, especially as it's so incredibly comfortable. So in summary, quite often when I receive a watch I just know I'm going to flip it. Other times I'm not sure, and sometimes, just sometimes, I know I've bought a keeper. Now I genuinely believe this watch falls into the latter category, because as well as being very well made, it suits my personal taste to the letter. Would I recommend the Batavi Kosmopoliet? Absolutely. Now that brings me to the end of this review, so if you've enjoyed it please click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave your comments below and enjoy the rest of your day.